I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of the Syrian Arab Republic.
شكرا سيدي الرئيس.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I wish to recall here certain facts so that some of our colleagues can remember how important this meeting is and some important aspects of it. The Syrian Arab Republic profoundly believes in the usefulness of multilateralism for nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation. This is why, since 1968, when we acceded to the NPT, we demonstrated this. Then we signed the IAEA Safeguards Agreement, and then in 2003, when we were a member of the Security Council, submitted a draft resolution for the creation of a zone free of nuclear weapons and other weapons of mass destruction in the Middle East. This is a question that was subject to lengthy statements on the part of colleagues. However, the United States blocked this draft resolution, which remained in blue and in one of the drawers in the Security Council. Some Western states, in exchange for the acceptance of my country and for respect for its commitments, attached the Dimona reactor to Israel, as well as material and technological and knowledge on nuclear issues, which allowed Israel to be in possession of hundreds of nuclear warheads and their means of delivery. Israel also received German submarines, which are capable of transporting and launching nuclear missiles. The same Western states have tried with all their strength to remove the Israeli nuclear case from the scope of interest of member states during the 2010 review conference. They also sought to see the failure at the conference of 2012 and then 2015. We'd also recall in this connection that the Security Council resolution called on Israel to immediately submit its nuclear facilities to the IAEA Comprehensive Safeguards regime. So, some states today claim to be committed to non-proliferation, and they claim to be committed to the maintenance of peace and security. What are these states doing to implement this resolution, which should have been adopted 38 years ago, and that has cost the international community the invasion of Iraq? Unfortunately, they have done nothing. Indeed, everything that these states have done, all they have done was to spread lies and to fabricate accusations against my country, to hide the support of their government for the military nuclear program in Israel, and to protect Israel within the non-proliferation regime. And this is happening again today, while delegations are claiming, such as my US colleague who spoke briefly just before me, some states claim, and during this session, that my country is not complying with its commitments and obligations and is calling on my country to cooperate with the IAEA to address pending issues. In this connection, I'd like to say the following. The conclusion made by the Board of Governors Secretariat in July 2011 is not based on any tangible evidence, but actually it is based on theories that we see from open sources, which were fabricated by intelligence services that are well known. This conclusion was submitted as a possibility. The term likely was used. It was an accusation. It is not a proven conclusion, likely, and it's been used in the past by Colin Powell, as you know, and by my colleague very recently. This is something we reject completely, and this does not fall in line with how the IAEA should work. Indeed, the IAEA is based on specific evidence which are not up for discussion. The Board of Governors has not adopted this conclusion by consensus. No. This conclusion was put to a vote because Many states opposed it. Secondly, the allegations that my country is suffering ignore what the Secretary General of the IAEA set forth, and I quote, "The non-provision of the IAEA in good time and place of information pertaining to the buildings destroyed in Deir ez-Zor is a grave obstacle to the IAEA for it to carry out its mission under the NPT and the safeguards agreements through the subsequent unilateral use of force." This is a very important issue. Mr. Baradar reiterated this in page 268 of its memoirs, in the book entitled "The Age of Deception: Nuclear Diplomacy in Treacherous Times." Thirdly, Syria cooperated with the IAE in a positive and constructive fashion as regards the nature of what happened in Deir ez-Zor, which was targeted by Israeli military planes from Turkey. My country allowed IAEA inspectors to visit the area in June 2008. These inspectors moved around freely. They collected samples and they had responses to all the questions they posed. And Syria demonstrated flexibility and showed how serious they were to address pending issues. In October 2011, we reached an agreement on a work plan to address all of these issues. However, and unfortunately, and once again, some states, including the US, have exerted pressure to prevent the implementation of this plan and to support their political blackmail approach, as was shown by the WikiLeaks document. The United States are fully responsible, hence, for the non-implementation of this plan. This responsibility cannot fall on Syria. Fourthly, the annual reports of the IAEA as regards the implementation of safeguards, the most recent one was from 2018. This report concluded that declared nuclear materials were limited to peaceful activities. This demonstrates further that Syria has always complied with its commitments under the NPT and the Safeguards Agreement. Chair, the immoral protection by the United States and the successive US governments provided to Israel is a clear proof of the irresponsible policies of this government, which have provided only disaster, instability, destruction to our region. They have undermined security and regional peace, have led to the invasion of Iraq and the destruction of Libya, and the transformation of international terrorists into armies, and this demonstrates how what we're saying is true. However, the IAEA and the Security Council have not condemned the scandalous Israeli military aggression that started in 2007, nor the refusal of Israel to cooperate with the IAEA. The official recognition of Israel's responsibility for the attack in Deir ez-Zor obliges us to cooperate with the IAEA to demonstrate the reality of this military aggression and to shed light on the mystery of the existence of some uranium particles. All discussions will remain dead letter until Israel cooperates with the IAEA. The statement of the US and the comments on my country is really the height of hypocrisy. And we're saying this seriously. Indeed, the United States of America are the party that has most violated the non-proliferation system. The US deploys nuclear weapons on territories of other states, and they cooperate with Israel in the nuclear field. And they defend and protect this exception to the NPT. This demonstrates yet again a clear and flagrant violation. Thus, it is necessary that for the next conference we can solve this non-compliance once and for all. We hope that the US, we believe that they are part of a plot against my country alongside other states. This is why these accusations have no credibility. Well, the allegations claimed by the United States of its commitment, and it's a commitment to disarmament, they should oblige Israel to accede to the NPT in that case and call on Israel to submit their facilities for IAEA verification. The United States would not have refused our initiative to create a zone free of the nuclear weapons on WADs using their veto against this proposal. I thank you very much indeed.
I thank the distinguished representative of the Syrian Arab Republic for his intervention.